Hello farmers, welcome back to No Man's Land. As you can see, I got the straw baler on the Kubota, taking care of the animals because as we saw at the end of the last episode, I kind of goofed and went to bed at the end of April. Woke up in May, I'm like, oh yeah, the animals, forgot to feed them. I was so into selling all the clothing, kind of neglected the animals. So we're taking care of that first thing here this episode. Already got the chickens taken care of. We're going to go ahead here and take care of the sheep here in just a moment. Got the cows all taken care of. They got their straw, got their TMR, and they got water. And as you can see, I'm hooking up a weight to the Kubota because we're going to need that because we're going to be picking up a lot of hay bales. I should mention on this episode, it's happened once again. Got recorded this episode 90 seconds in, and for some reason my microphone cut out during the recording, so I'm doing a voiceover, so I already know what I did the rest of the episode. I just got to remember what I talked about. But anyways, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take care of the sheep because they had no feed whatsoever. So we want to go ahead and take care of that. We're also going to be taking care of the grass field today. That needs some lime and some fertilizer. And then we're going to take the McCormick on up and take care of the orchard as well. Put some lime down. And we're going to see if we can put some more fertilizer on the crops up there. I hope that the vines have some leaves on them, and hopefully that, I think the olive trees are growing currently as well. So we'll see if they take fertilizer or not. Well, let's go down here and take care of the sheep because, well, we need the wool. We did pretty good selling the clothing. We had 20,000 liters of clothing this year, which is up from the 13 to 15,000 that we normally get. That's because we added a sheep pasture last year, and that sheep pasture on the left is not quite full yet, so I'm hoping next season, by the time we sell it, we'll have more than 20,000 liters of clothing. Just checking to make sure that bale was in the trigger. It took one bale, and it's hard to tell if it takes from another bale, so I walked up on it, and I think it was down to like 3,500 liters. I didn't look there, but I knew it wasn't 9,000, so it's taken that. So I should also mention here, with this being a voiceover, I'm cutting a lot of the episode out, so it might be a shorter episode than normal, just because I'm cutting out more. And yeah, I hate doing voiceovers, but it's either nothing or this. I also should mention I have been looking at other maps, so possibly next Monday, if you're watching this when it goes live on Friday, next Monday we might be on a new map. I'm not quite sure. I have one picked out. I do like it. But there have been a couple more maps that have come out here in the past couple days on the mod hub, so I need to get in there and check on those. It takes a little while to go around the map and seeing if it's one that what you're trying to do, what you want to do. But I found one. I thought I found one I really liked, but then I got in there and I noticed something like, well, that ain't going to work. So I'm not going to say what it is yet. You have to wait and see when that first episode comes out and what my plan is to do on whatever map I tend to pick on out. But anyways, that is our sheep taken care of. So yeah, the pigs, we gave pig food to, I think that was the last episode, or the episode before. I'm pretty sure it was the last episode. The cows are taken care of. Like I said, the chickens are also topped off with some wheat. I did notice that when I topped off the chickens with some wheat, I got still like 140,000 liters of wheat in the silo, which is a good thing because I can bring a lot of that wheat on down to the grain mill and make some flour because I don't believe we have any more flour in storage. It's in storage at Bread Pit and the donut shop, but I can go ahead and make some more flour if needed. And if not, well then when I harvest the wheat field this upcoming season, I can bring that all down and make flour then. I was dropping out the front end loader on the Kubota, and I was realizing what I was going to use it for later, which is fertilizing the grapes and olive trees. It's like I don't need the weight in the back of the Kubota either. So, yep, drop off the weight. The front end loader is already taken care of. Now we'll come over here to McCormick. McCormick's all set up to go for spreading some lime down. So let's go ahead and jump in here and do that. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't take a whole bunch of lime here, but if it takes enough, then I'm going to go back to the main farm and top off with some lime. I don't want to get all the way down to the orchard and try to spread some lime down and run short because the orchard's at one corner of the map and the main farm's at the other corner of the map. We can see that upper left-hand corner is taking some lime, but not a whole lot. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to finish this whole field with the lime I have. It's just a matter of do I have enough to do the orchard when I go on down there. So yeah, I've been looking at other maps for another series. I was actually thinking about this episode right here. I was actually thinking about trading in the McCormick and swapping it for another tractor. And I was like, let's not do that yet, because if I start another series, I don't want to buy a tractor here. And then for my plan on the other map, I don't want to say too much what it is. Like I said, I don't want to end up buying the same tractor and have the same tractor on both maps. So just going to hold off on the McCormick for a while. We've had the McCormick for actually quite a while in here, so I would like to possibly trade it out and just to get a different look on the map, different feel. But we'll see if one comes up for sale in the future here in No Man's Land. Currently in the shop, there are no tractors for sale. There was the Krone Big M for mowing and a couple of other things, but no tractors currently for sale. So a couple things I was thinking about in between last episode and this episode. So the fish farm, I was trying to think, am I actually making a lot of money on that? I mean, for the amount of mineral feed that I need to put into that fish farm, I mean, when you sell a fish, it sounds kind of good. Just remember, I'm on hard economy, so we're only getting like, I think we got like 1,200 for 1,000 liters. Not the best time to sell fish, but you know, it's not that bad. But then when you start buying mineral feed, and they're growing through the mineral feed rather rapidly, and you're paying $1,000 per basically 1,000 liters, yeah, it makes me wonder, am I making enough money on the fish? But you know what? It's already there. I've already put it down. We're doing it. So we'll go ahead and do that. But I will say the sawmill is going to make us some money because we are making barrels. And I got tons of planks, tons of barrels, more than what I need for planks at the furniture shop have a seat. So I can sell more planks if I want to, or just keep making more pallets. The fish farm has more pallets than it needs. So I can sell pallets and barrels, and we should make a good amount of money on that. Just I'm not sure if the fish farm is... I don't know. I don't know if that needs to be adjusted. I haven't looked at it too much, but for some reason, it just doesn't seem like I'm making enough cash on the fish farm for what we paid for it. A couple of people have said, though, they've had a couple of things where they're getting billed for more production than what the fish farm says it is. They're not sure if it's a fish farm or not, but they've seen some random numbers come up for production buildings. And the cost for the running production buildings is a lot higher than it used to be before the fish farm. So I'm not too sure. So just be aware of that. I haven't seen it yet, but then again, we've only had the fish farm here for a few episodes. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I just haven't seen it here at all. So as for the month of May here, what we're going to be doing here today, when we get done, we'll be done with the month. And I'll probably, next episode, will be in like late June, early July to sell the furniture, and we will probably getting in the fields with the Kubota with our narrow tires on and spreading fertilizer down in all the fields with the crop sensors. So the corn in front of us, you can see that has grown, but it's not. We're going to wait until it's in the final growth stage before we go into the fields and fertilize it, just because I don't want to do it 2 or 3 times. The wheat field, and I do believe the oat fields are pretty well grown, so I could go into those and fertilize those. I think they're in the last growth stage, but we got plenty of time. They don't need to be harvested until September, so we got a few months to get that done. And this is at the point when I was recording earlier, I said, yep, I'm definitely going to have to go back to the main farm and top this off with some lime, because I'm getting down to about a third of lime left, and I wasn't quite sure how much the orchard was going to take. So those trees in the orchard, the olive trees, the mod that we're using, the trees are kind of far apart, so I didn't know if it was going to spread lime in between the trees as well, or just where the trees were. Wasn't too sure, but I don't want to chance it. So when I get done here spreading lime, and we're going to be spreading some fertilizer here in just a second, I'm going to go back to the main farm and top this off with some lime, which we will see, I do believe. Let's just go ahead and get this last strip done, and our pH value on this field will be perfect, because after harvesting the grass last time, it brought it all the way down to orange, which was a bad color for precision farming. But the one thing I did not realize, I was checking on it though, on the Bredel spreader here for lime spreading, it's not like the fertilizer spreader that we're getting ready to use. I cannot adjust to working with, because when I would get down to the orchard, I don't want to be spreading too wide, with the lime, but find out later on, it doesn't seem to matter too much. Alright, let's go grab the fertilizer spreader and get some fertilizer down on our grass field. I was happy when I came over here to see that the spreader was up front and not packed in the back somewhere. And this is also when I realized, I'm like, oh, I don't have that much fertilizer in the spreader here. And I was like, is that going to be enough to cover the grass field? Because, yeah, and I was thinking, nah, it's got to be more than what I have in here. Now, I made the mistake here, though. I corrected myself before I got going. You can see I'm going to start going. I think I'm going to stop here because I realized I should be turning on the crop sensors because the grass is growing and the crop sensors will have enough foliage to detect how much fertilizer it needs for the grass that's down. Kind of the good thing about spreading lime down before you fertilize is you can easily see after you start fertilizing where you've been and where you haven't been. I mean, you can see where you fertilize anyways without the lime, but the lime makes it that much easier. But basically, I got just enough fertilizer to almost make one trip around the field, so I'll have to go back to the main farm and top it off here in just a moment. But the money is looking really good, though. We're up to $336,000, but we're going to be spending some of that here in a little while. I just got to make sure I got about, I think, what was it, like $350,000 I need for the root crop harvester for the sugar beet and also the modded header. I used something like that mod for the sugar beets back in 17 or 19. I know it was on the Pacific Northwest, but I think it was back in 17 I did it, not 19. And I fell in love with that root crop harvester mod back in 17. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it here when we try it out in a couple months' time. Yep. Just a little bit short on the fertilizer to get this field done, so I'll have to go back to the main farm. And at this point I was thinking, well, how am I going to do this? And I realized, well, if I put the fertilizer spreader on the front of the McCormick, I can put the Breedle spreader on the back. I can bring them both over to the main farm at the same time. So I'm glad I thought of that before I got over there. I'm like, oh, stupid, you could have done it. You could have done it in one trip. Yep, just about out here. So let's go back to the main farm and we'll top off both the fertilizer spreader and the lime spreader. Oh, I guess I didn't show that. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't. So anyways, I went back to the main farm and yeah, you can see both of them are full. There we go. So we're all done here. We're getting out, checking the field, make sure we're perfect and perfect. So I was checking the yield. Yield potential is 125. Expected yield is 122. I probably could get the other 3% if I were to roll the grass field after I cut it, but the rolling, I tried a little bit on Elm Creek, and to me it just didn't seem worth my time to do. For the price of the equipment and everything, this didn't seem like it was worth my time to get the roller and roll the fields. But without precision farming, I do believe you get some fertilization down when you roll the grass field. So now we're headed on down to the orchard, and boom, just like that we are here. So I'm getting out and checking the vines just to make sure in the bottom right hand corner we can see the pH value is perfect, nitrogen value is perfect. Don't need to spread lime there. I didn't expect that we needed to. So now we're going to go over to the olive trees. So I brought down the fertilizer spreader with us. So instead of spreading manure down for the trees, I thought, well, I got the spreader for fertilizer already on the McCormick, might as well bring it on down. And we'll spread the olive trees with fertilizer and lime at the same time. Because I haven't brought the manure down here yet, even though I got the manure pit all set up ready to go. But as people have been telling me since I started precision farming here, between the olives and the grapes, with precision farming, we don't really need to do nitrogen or a pH value. But since this is a new crop that we put down, the pH value over here is bad. So we're going to make sure we do that. So I already got the fertilizer spreader on. Well, I'm turning it on, and the lime spreader is on. So I'm keeping an eye in the bottom right hand corner, and I'm not seeing the fertilizer go down at all. So I'm like, okay, do I need to be doing fertilizer or not? We can see the pH value. I am doing the pH value. You can see on the upper left hand corner. That's only spraying it right in the little corners of the trees. The little squares under the trees. Not in between the trees. It's not spreading at all. Just in the little corners of it. I do believe I'm going to get out here in just a moment and probably check to see. No, I don't get out and check. So I just turned off the fertilizer spreader because I realized I'm not using the fertilizer at all. So what's the sense of having it on? So I'm just going to go ahead and throw down the lime on all 3 rows. And the pH value should be good. And we'll double check that here once I get done. Just make sure I don't hit any of the evergreen trees when I turn around the McCormick. Don't want to damage my fertilizer spreader. And just like that, yep, we are all done spreading the lime. I'm going to come up here and park the McCormick because I'm done using that for now. Let's go out and check what the status is of the pH values. So pH value is showing good, nitrogen showing perfect. That's why I wasn't spreading any fertilizer down, because the nitrogen level is already perfect over here. So I didn't spread any nitrogen down over here whatsoever, and it says perfect. I was checking. You can see where it says, wait, I'm running too fast for myself here. If I can get it just right. Yep, everything seems to be fine here. So at least the pH value is showing perfect. Nitrogen says it's fine. If you get in the right spot, it says it's fine. And it still says expected yield 69 out of 100. So, but we have to keep in mind, I have not plowed over here yet, and I have not spread, I haven't mulched over here yet either. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to buy the liquid fertilizer sprayer, and we're going to go over and do the grapes and the olive trees, at least try to. So I'm talking about here, I thought about leasing it for $1,400, and I thought, you know what, we got the money, let's go ahead and buy it, because if it happens to actually take fertilizer, and I'm not sure if it's going to, I'm going to need to spray it again in the summertime to get a second application on it. So I was like, it's only 28 grand, let's go ahead and buy it. And of course, now we need our liquid fertilizer. So let's go ahead and buy that. It's 2,000 liters. And I'm thinking, yeah, I just need one, because I'm thinking, yeah, it's not going to take it. But we don't know if it's going to or not. Well, maybe you already did. Maybe you already tried it with precision farming on your olive trees and grapes. There we go. We should be all set. All right, let's head on down back to the grapes and the olive trees, and let's see if it actually sprays any liquid fertilizer onto the grapes and onto the olive trees. It's going to be interesting to see. So I don't know if precision farming is just showing us what the ground has, but of course with an orchard, all your fruit is not in the ground, it's above the ground. So we're not, I'm not sure how this is actually going to work. So we're at 2,000 liters. The one thing I probably didn't do yet, but I'm going to make sure I do this, is turn on the crop sensors, which I did, and now we're spraying. So you can see the liters are going down in the sprayer, but at a very slow rate. And if you look at the upper left hand corner, it says the target for nitrogen is at 0, and you can see the current level of nitrogen is way up there. It's like at 100 in some areas. So yeah, I guess we don't ever need to spray or give our grapes and olive tree, well, I haven't shown olive trees yet, but you can see where it's going. We don't need nitrogen on these, it appears. So I'm going to check actually the precision farming map itself to see if it's changing anything there. So that's pH value, and that's our nitrogen level. So I'm trying to show, I'm looking at where we went up and down, and it's the same color as the rest of the grape. So that's not changing color either. So I'm really not spraying any liquid fertilizer down at all. The one thing I am going to do though, I'm going to spray it on this row here. So the reason I'm doing these rows here is this is my test row, if you will. So I got the number written down. I don't have the paper in front of me right now, but I got the number written down for the first time we harvested grapes and what I got per the row. And then last year when I harvested the grapes, we did plow and mulch the field, and the yield did go up by like 15%, which is not bad. So I said, well, let me spray it with fertilizer and see if it's making any difference whatsoever. And we won't know until it comes time to harvesting the grapes in October. I think it's October we harvest grapes. So here I'm giving up on the grapes at this point. It's like, okay, we're not using any liquid fertilizer hardly at all. Let's go see what it does when I get over to the olive trees. Now, we saw with precision farming, the nitrogen pH level over here is considered perfect. So the one thing I'm noticing right away is you can see that this fertilizer is going down. You can see the lime kind of disappearing underneath the trees. But in the upper left-hand corner, it says no values detected yet. So the crop sensor is not sensing these olive trees, which is a mod. So I don't know how that's going to affect it or not. But yeah, here I'm kind of thinking, okay, it's not taking any fertilizer here whatsoever either. So I mean, it's showing that it's accepting it, but it's not really putting anything down. And I'm looking at the nitrogen levels and the pH levels again just to see what's going on there. I'm checking a spot where, right here, obviously I haven't sprayed yet, to where a spot I already have sprayed, and the values are the same. And I'm just going to probably double check here in a second here just to make sure that it's doing what it should be doing. And you can see the fill level of the nitrogen is still at 1970, didn't change at all. So I'm like, alright, it's just a waste of my time. Let's go ahead and we're going to just park this right into the sheds up here and leave it here. I was thinking that, well, maybe we actually have to wait until some fruit grows onto the trees, meaning grapes and olives. It's pretty early in the season, so probably nothing hanging off those trees and vines yet. So maybe we'll try it again in like July to see if it accepts any. And now I'm going to make you watch me struggle backing this in because it's turning quicker than I thought it would twice. Come on, Peanut. Third time's a charm. Just take it slow, back it in there, and park it. Well, all of our work is done here down at the orchards. At least the lime's down. The lime did change the value, but as for nitrogen, seems pointless with precision farming on grapes and olives. And now I'm getting Frank to come on over. He's going to follow us on back to the cow farm, so I can bring the Kubota on back. Hopefully he's back there. Got him on follow me, so I'm bringing these on back. And that's when we wrap up today's episode, guys. Wonderful little voiceover, but that it will do it for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in No Man's Land. But until then, have a good one.